Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Hiking with Matt, this time with a very special guest. Yeah.
Hi. I guess. So I'm Renee, and today we are going to be exploring Grand Gulf State Park.
Yes, this is a state park that we just discovered, and the cool thing is that there are a bunch of trails here, but there's also a collapsed cave system. It's called the Miniature Grand Canyon of Missouri. Here we go. We're gonna, with no further ado, because nobody likes ado, we're gonna go out and explore this state park and take you guys with us.
Sounds
Let's do
good.
it. We're not even out of the parking lot yet, and it's already just stunningly beautiful out here. Are you bear aware? Are you bear aware?
I hope so. I better be.
Yeah, you better be bear aware. Welcome to the Grand Gulf State Park. Missouri is the cave state. Grand Gulf is a collapsed cave system and one of the state's most significant geological wonders. And oh, is that the woman that wrote about it in the book?
Yeah, so
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Luella Agnes Owen, she helped to discover the cave systems, and she wrote about it in her book, and she was able to help basically make this become a state park.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Luella. All right, you ready to go?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we just looked at the map and we have a plan of how we're gonna go about this. So there's a red trail and a blue trail. So we're gonna be hitting both. Both of them are relatively short. And right now I think this is the overlook, right? Or one of many.
This is the overlook right here.
Okay. That's the bridge that we are on right now. And that picture that's filled with water is this. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
That is insane.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh.
How in the world? Look how deep that is.
Hey, I don't get vertigo at all, but this is doing something to me. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely insane.
Like, this is so cool.
Could you imagine going to the Grand Canyon? I mean, the Grand Canyon is like thousands of times bigger than this,
Yeah.
and this is blowing my mind. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine rock climbing this thing?
That would be insane. And like exploring that cave down there.
Mm-hmm.
Although if it's collapsed, like
Oh yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't go rock climbing on a not collapsed mountain. I would definitely wouldn't on a collapsed mountain.
Yeah.
All right, just to show you guys how deep this thing goes. That was my gosh.
I hope I caught that on video. I can't see.
All right, next we're gonna throw you guys down there and give you guys a little POV action of what it's gonna look like just jumping into that. No. Check this out. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
No. And apparently there's a tunnel entrance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are we gonna go spelunking?
That would be cool.
Man, this really just puts things into perspective in a weird way. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I just feel so small. You know what I mean?
It is. It's like...
But in a good way. Here we have another part of the canyon ravine. Over here we have some beautiful blossoms with some bees pollinating them, and it's just so peaceful. Like, we've only been here for like maybe 15 minutes. This is already my favorite trail of all time. I've hiked up mountains, I've hiked down mountains, I've done all sorts of trails, never anything like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love hiking up mountains, and then once you get to the top, you get one of the most beautiful views of God's creation. Like, that is one of my favorite things to experience, but this is just completely different. Like, you could just look at the layers and the rock and the soil. There's so much history here. And then when you take the size and scale into account, it's like I'm at a loss for words. When does that happen? Here's a little sample of what the trails look like here, and the former archaeologist is going into archaeology mode. What'd you find?
Chert.
Chert?
Chert. But that's all it is. It's just chert.
Could you imagine doing an archaeology dig out here?
That would be insane.
Yeah, you should hit up Brockington and say, hey, yo, I have your next spot.
Also, look at that tree right there.
Ooh, balance beam challenge. You go first.
No, those days are behind me. I've already done that.
You're gonna have to tell that story, because that is one of the wildest stories I've heard.
Me crossing a river?
Yeah, you crossing a river.
I mean, that is the wildest thing I've ever done. And probably the most stupidest thing I've ever done.
Well, it wasn't stupid. It was out of necessity, though.
No, it wasn't. I didn't know. I could have just turned around and then just waited for somebody to come pick me up.
This is bringing me back to my first ever hike. And the reason why I say that is because the trail is like next to like intense steep drop-offs, and that was like the first hike that I've ever been on. We were hiking up a 4-mile mountain, and the trail was like right on the edge of cliffs and everything, so you had to watch your step or you would go falling.
Yeah.
In fact, my friend Jason, he actually slipped and fell, and he was really lucky that it wasn't near the edge of the cliff, because he only fell about 5 or 6 feet.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was insane. Like, all you heard was a poof, and he was gone. Like, he was just completely gone.
I'm gonna touch you.
Now we're going like deep into the heart of the canyon, and already, like, we're not even that far down yet, but already you could see the giant cave walls here.
Wow.
Yeah, and you could reach out and touch it, get a really close look at it.
Like, thousands of years of history is right here.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm excited for when we go down there. Like, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It is wild being like deep in the heart of it. Like, it is unreal. And isn't this crazy?
This is really cool.
Natural Bridge Trail, blazed in blue.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Says you may experience steep grades and inclines more than 10%. Bluffs or drop off next to trail bridges and our structural crosses. Kids in the water over trail.
Is this like the most intense trail that you've been on?
Possibly.
How does this compare to some of the things that you had to traverse as an archaeologist?
I would say the most hilly would have been in Kentucky, and we did have to climb up some of the hills, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice because this has trails already.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have trails where we were working at. We were working at a park that was shut down temporarily.
I guess you sort of had to find your own way, didn't you?
Yeah, we had to climb up and do shovel testing.
We are not doing it easy on our first hike of the year. Like normally I like to start off with a couple easy trails, you know, get warmed up to it, but no, we are hiking up a ravine. Yeah. For the first hike of 2026. So obviously one of my favorite parts about walking trails is when you go all the way up to the mountain and you see the beautiful mountains out in the distance, and it's a perfect illustration of the majesty that God put in creation. But I also love parts of the trail that are like this. We are just deep in the heart of the forest. There are no mountains, no ridges, it's just nature. And the sense of peace that I feel out on trails like this is just, I can't put it into words. It's just something that you have to go out and experience. All right, so we've been hiking for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. Here we have a huge ravine. This spot right here, it's not showing up very well on camera, but this spot reminded me of the story that I began to tell a few minutes ago with my friend Jason falling down, almost falling down the mountain. It was a 4-mile trail up the mountain and down the mountain. So we were on mile 7 going down this mountain, and we got to a part where it was a huge ravine like this, and there is a steep drop off the trail, but there is a platform and a tree. So when my friend Jason fell, he fell completely off the trail and onto a platform just like this, but it was a lot more steep and it was about waist high. But the funny thing is that when he fell, he was holding a water bottle, and he squeezed it so hard, the top of that water bottle flew up in the air like 30 or 40 feet. It became like a projectile. In fact, we started calling him Poof from then on, because it was like poof, and then it was just flying. So it was just very chaotic, because he almost fell down a ravine like this. It was honestly the hand of God that protected him, because there is just a perfect little bed for him to land on. It's just a funny little memory from the first hike. This is a much better description of what Jason almost fell down. Yeah, if he would have fallen off, it would have been a disaster. I was telling Renee another story about that hiking trip. It was a guys hiking trip with 4 guys from my church. We had Josh, Jason, and Jared. What do you notice about all 3 of those names? They all start with J. My name doesn't start with J. And they were like, hey, we can't have 3 J's and then 1 E. I was going by Eric at the time. So at first they put a J in front of Eric and they started calling me Jarek. And then they realized, Jarek, that kind of sounds like Jericho. So they started calling me Jericho. And then me being the nerdy wrestling fan, I started talking about Chris Jericho nonstop. And that put a end to the nickname Jericho real quick. All right, so we just completed the loop, and we just did a 0.8 mile hike around this whole ravine. On that side, we have the part of the canyon that we were looking at when we first got here. On this side, we have the other side, which makes sense. On the other side, you have the other side, right? I'm tired. That's always the hardest part about these hiking with Matt videos. It's talking while hiking.
Would you like to get something to eat?
I would love to get something to eat. All right, so we made it safely back to the car, and this like wildly blew my expectations. It sounded really cool based on what we saw on the internet. I didn't expect it to be this good.
Yeah, like I would say this is easily one of the best hikes we've ever done, and I'm looking forward to coming back.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to bringing Micah here. That's gonna be incredible. Yeah. So what's your favorite part about the trail?
I would say relatively it was easy for us to do. Like, we're not experienced hikers, and this was...
Well, speak for yourself. I'm very experienced.
So, for someone who is, well, I don't know.
I'm the greatest hiker in the history of the whole entire world. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I would say it's great for beginners.
Yeah.
Just be prepared.
Alright. Thank you guys for watching and for tagging along with us on this adventure. It's been a while since we've been able to do something like this. It felt great just to take some time for ourselves and just be together. You know, not be mom and dad for a couple hours, just be husband and wife. You know, Matthew and Renee.
Yeah.
I think as great as the canyon was, and the sights and the exercise, I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Because we actually took time to be with each other. You know.
Yeah.
It could be easy to just sort of go on cruise control and just not be as intentional as you need to be with your spouse, especially when there's a kid. This gave us a wonderful break, a wonderful time to reconnect with each other.
Yeah, like we needed this time.
Thank you guys.
Right.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.